Hello and happy September. I don't even know where the time has gone. It's just flying by and also feeling like it's at a standstill. Anybody else feeling that? I'm going to use this casting sticker. I revisited recently, adding a brain to the light bulb instead of, before this had like some pink in the background, and then it had, was either blank or it had a cage with a bunch of social media icons. But I was thinking about it, and me being a professional overthinker, I thought it would be really neat to put a brain in there, almost as if the moth was being attracted to that. And with this spread, you'll get a large version of this, which is the casting positions and my suggestions. But you know, moths are drawn to the natural light of the moon in order to stay within their instinctual flight patterns. When there is an artificial light, like when we turn on lights and the moths go to it, the reason they do it is they're trying to extinguish it. So the way that, and it causes them to go into a tailspin. So this spread can be kind of like a check-in when your mind does that, when your mind starts to loop and overthink and all that. So going into September, it's supposed to be naturally like a time when we go into fall, when things start to get a little slower. But because of our society and our culture, I feel like we get stuck in these tailspins of thoughts and what we have to do. Oh my gosh, the holiday season, blah, 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 all that stuff. So I feel like there's just a lot of overthinking because our routines are kind of transitioning from summer back into normal, but then also into what we have come to know as the holiday season, even though every year I feel like it gets earlier and earlier and earlier. So this is my first time using this spread, and we're just gonna work through it together and see what message it has for us for September. We're gonna use the Phantom Wise Tarot. This deck I actually edged. I took some pictures of the process, so I'm gonna share that in Patreon to let you know how I did it. But so the first card here is our intrusive thoughts, the energy commandeering our peace of mind, the cause of the spiraling, if we will. So also during eclipse season, it makes sense. Like everything feels a little off kilter. So this could be the root cause of that feeling. And so the root cause of that is strength. Maybe we've had to be stronger than, you know, we ever knew was possible for just this past year, or maybe it's been a span of years, you know, and maybe at this point you're just tired of being so strong. And that is such a thing, like, especially if you talk to somebody who's battling an illness or battling just anybody in a battle, they just get to a point of exhaustion, and too much strength can lead to that. So then it's kind of like we sit there in our looping thoughts of what we could have done differently, should have done differently, would have done differently. You know, there's a lot that just spirals. Like we start replaying scenarios. If only I had done blah, blah, blah. If only, if only, if only. So strength can absolutely be the triggering of a thought spiral, right? So now I'm gonna use the Silver Acorn Lenormand by Steph Buscema. We're gonna do them as the wings. So this one is the natural light. This is what's beneficial to our well-being at this time. And we've got the heart. Oh, look at that card. Her artwork is so amazing. So the heart is beneficial. Knowing in your heart, like, yes, you can be strong, and yes, you know, it can be draining, but your heart is guiding you. It's in the right place, right? In here, if we're using Lenormand as an oracle, it's kind of, you know, just even with its artwork, like the candle is still lit, it's still burning. You still have a desire in your heart, and the desires are what set us in motion, right? And then this is the artificial light. This is what needs to be eliminated. So we're going to give this deck another quick shuffle. And cut it. And the stars. How can something that's generally positive be eliminated as the threat, right? But here we go, you know, knowing that in stars, Lenormand can also point to the internet, and that's the first thing that's coming to me, and it's saying maybe you need to unplug. Maybe the artificial light is the blue glow from your phone, the blue glow, right? Maybe it's the screens. Maybe you're spending way too much time on screens and you need to unplug as you go into this next month. And the strength is coming from everything that you're reading and everything that you're seeing. And while it's clickbaity and there's a lot going on, it may or may not be true. So get back to your heart, get back to, you know, just what it is you desire, not what the outside world is telling you, you know, and then you'll be able to find your actual natural light and back to center. And so going to center, we are using tarot tiles. So number 4, which is this one here, this is embodiment. Like, use this to get back into your body and into your true nature. And we've got death. So yeah, something needs to change. Some major changes need to happen. You don't need to physically die. I mean, I could address the elephant in the room, like death needs to happen in order for us to get back to some sort of normal. And I'm not even gonna say back to, I've been trying very much to use going forward. So these changes that are not for everybody's best good need to go away. They need to die. And in order for that, we are going to be able to go through a transformation into our next phase. So that's, you know, that's what needs to happen. Sorry, there's Braxton hair flying into the camera. So that's what needs to happen in order to help get us back into our true nature and back into our course. So the habits that are consuming too much of our time, needing to not be so strong all the time also, right? Taking a break. And now this one is the antenna. This is our guiding force. This is going to help us get back on course after we eliminate what needs to be eliminated. And we've got the 8 of Cups. And the 8 of Cups tells us, like, to get back on course, we need to move on, right? We need to, you know, I always hear you don't have to go home, but you can't stay here. So you need to shift this course that you're on. And in your heart, you know that that's done. And just to go forward. So then to close out this reading, we're going to cross strength with another card. And this ends the loop. This energy closes our overthinking and helps us remember our purpose. And this is, you know, for September, what will help us close the loop on being exhausted from being strong all the time. Our patience is wearing thin, right? Do you all also have, like, you know, strength that's like, because it says it's on there, your brain's like, oh, it's strong, but there are negative aspects. There are overwhelming aspects to strength. You know, somebody says my patience is running thin. That's a strength attribute. And it leads to the overthinking, right? So what is helping us end this loop? We've got the Page of Cups. Oh, I love that. Tap into your inner child. Tap into who you were before you became too aware of the world's bigger issues. Who you were before you were an adult. You know, we all have access to our inner child. We all have access to that creativity, that surprise, that excitement, you know. If you have somebody who's going back to school right now and you're feeling a little overwhelmed, if there's children in your life, then maybe you need to look to them to be the guide, because they don't know the greater issues of the world at the moment unless, you know, they're being told too much or whatever. So tap into that gentle nature of the imagination and the creativity. We need some real outside of the box thinking in order to be able to, move from ending the phase and just moving away. And to that, we need to look to those younger than us. And the Page of Cups comes in with that childlike wonderment for September. So I really hope that you'll find the space for some creative exploration, getting in touch with your inner child, maybe do something that will help heal those wounds if you carry them with you. You don't have to be strong all the time. Like maybe you need to do something for that part of you that is still waiting to be acknowledged. And that's also, will help you get back to where your heart desires. I hope you have a wonderful September. Like I said, I have in my Patreon, I'm going to show you the process steps of how I did the Phantom Wise Tarot, the edging, and also I did the Horror Tarot. So that post is coming out soon. Thank you again for being with me through this creativity journey, this new Patreon. I know I haven't been drawing as much or dropping as much content, but I'm still dealing with my arm. I've been doing some things using TENS units and physical therapy, but it still hurts. So I can only do so much with that, but I'm still creating and I'm still thinking and I'm working on some things in the background. So thank you again, and I will be here next month for another reading, and I'll be here throughout the month for your posts. Talk to you soon. Bye.